Okay, sir. Can you take me through the steps of creating a garment?
Yeah, hi, Anlika. So, good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Uh,
sir.
yes. So, basically, the garment manufacturing, the whole industry, how it works, I'll explain you step by step how the total, right from starting the design phase till the where the garment is going to the customer. The complete phase has many cycles. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
basically, it starts from the design phase. So design is what? Design is the concept or the fashion that gets created in the brand's design team or the fashion designer, where they think about that what do they want to create, and this
Okay, sir.
typically happens almost 6 months to 1 year before the launch of the actual garments. Okay. So
Okay,
when
sir.
this is done, when they define that these are the designs they want to launch based on the color theme, the fabrics they want to launch, the type of silhouette they want to launch, then it goes to the sourcing phase. So in the sourcing phase, whatever designs they have made, they have to source the fabrics, they have to source the materials, probably either in-house within the country or might be outside also.
Okay,
So
sir.
then the sourcing phase completes and the fabric and materials and the everything is in-house. Then the very critical phase happens, that is the manufacturing phase. So in the
Yes, sir.
manufacturing phase, the garment factories come into picture, where you have the laborers who make the garments based on the designs and based on the fabric that has been already defined. And usually it's an assembly line production in the garment manufacturing setup, where each and every step is done one after the other and the final garment is produced. And once the garment is produced and the packaging happens, it goes to the distribution phase. Now when the garments have been made, the company has already thought of that where is the target audience, where is the target customers, where they want to distribute it, and accordingly it is either shipped outside the country or it is distributed inside the country. And then when you say it is distributed inside the country or outside, it goes to the retail phase. So what is retail phase? Retail phase is the stores which we visit. So you must be visiting some stores in the mall or some local stores. So those are the retail players who are actually selling the garments to the end customers, and they are
Yes, sir.
getting it from the manufacturing setups. So once the retail phase happens, then is the last and the consumer phase. So the consumer phase is what? It is where the consumer is getting the garment which was already designed, sourced, manufactured, distributed, and retailed. So these are a kind of almost 5-step process where the complete garment is made.
Okay, sir. And, sir, do the processes used to make clothes harm the environment? How?
Okay. So see, in the overall process where you have the manpower involved, the labor, manpower, and machinery involved, so there are certain wastages that happens in the overall process. So see, I will try to distribute or try to make a step by step processes where the wastage or which I feel there is a issues with the processes. So first I will say it's a in the fashion industry, there are a lot of garments which are unsold. Okay. So think of you are visiting a store, and you see that in the same style and the same color you will find at least 15, 20, 50 garments.
Yes,
But
sir.
after a few months, if you go, those are not there. But it is not sold. Actually, out of 50, maybe 10 were sold or 40 were sold, but still 10, 15, 20 are the wastage. So why I say it's a wastage? Because it's an unsold garment or it's a discarded garment. And what happens to those discarded garments? Either it is sold in the resale. If even if it is not sold in the resale, then it is end of the day it goes to the landfills. And when it goes to the landfills, it is definitely contributing to the environmental pollution.
Yes, sir.
Second point I will say, so there is a process involved in most of the textile industries and garment industries where dyeing happens. So when you see colors on your garments, basically the colors come from dyes, either from
Yes,
printing
sir.
or dyeing. And when you talk about printing and dyeing, it is again a form of chemical pollution. Why I say chemical pollution? Because in the textile dyeing and finishing processes, there are lot of risks in the environment and human health. Why? Because first of all, they are using the synthetic dyes. And why they're using synthetic dyes? Because synthetic dyes are cheap. If they go for the organic dyes, it will be very expensive. But all the companies are looking towards profit, and as you know, the business is for profit, so they use the synthetic dyes, which is again putting lot of pressure on the environment. Third, I would say there's a carbon emission that is happening. Now, when you are making the cloth, or when you are sourcing the fabric from outside, or when you are sending your garments from your factory to the retail houses, so lot of transportation is used. And when transportation is used, so there is an energy that has been used, and all the manufacturing processes are again energy intensive processes,
Okay, sir.
and that leads to your greenhouse gas emission, or that will again lead to the climate change.
Okay, sir.
One last point I will say, that there is a poor working conditions as well in the overall garment manufacturing setup. Because in India, as well as Bangladesh is our neighboring country, which is highly the overall economy is based on the garment manufacturing itself for Bangladesh. So in India, Bangladesh, and other neighboring countries, the wages are very low for the workers, and the working conditions that are there in the factory are not very conducive. So workers are working in a not very kind of not very well planned factories. Like people will work for maybe 8 to 10 hours or 12 hours, and they will not have proper breaks, they will not have proper machineries to work. So that is again kind of putting a lot of pressure.
Yes, sir. And sir, what are some ways the textile industry is trying to be more eco-friendly?
Okay, yeah. So, see, basically, as everybody understands that there is a lot of issues happening to the environment, and overall the climate is changing. So it's not that everything is going on as it is right now. There are many fashion brands, there are many industries or manufacturers who are trying to reduce the carbon emission, or trying to get towards or take a first step towards the sustainable fashion. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So I will give you some examples. Like there are certain brands who are, first of all, they are trying to get the sustainable materials. So there's a lot of sustainable material innovation that is happening. So,
Okay, sir.
for example, there are synthetic fabrics, right? So
Yes,
synthetic
sir.
fabrics coming from the synthetic materials, but on the other side, there are fabrics like bamboo fabrics, or organic cotton fabrics, or tencel fabrics. So those are definitely better than the polyester and synthetic fabrics. So when you compare that synthetic or polyester fabrics, whenever you whenever you're not using those fabrics, it will not it will never be sustainable, because that will again remain for years in the soil of the planet, or soil of our earth. But when we talk about the uh, organic cotton fabric or bamboo fabric, those will not have an adverse impact on the environment, because that if that is not used by you, then definitely it mixes with the soil, and it goes away. The second, I would say, there are many fashion brands who are trying to reduce the water wastages. So there are different industries who are trying to adopt the water saving technologies, especially in the textile manufacturing. Because when you talk about textile manufacturing, so textile manufacturing uses lots of water in their finishing and processing. When they wash the fabric, or when they dye the fabric, there are a lot of water that is used. So they are trying to reduce the water usage. I'll give you a very simple example. Like earlier, the printing used to be always the block printing, which was like you have to take water, you have to take the dye, they have to mix it up, and people will manually put it on the fabric, and it will be printed. But with the digital innovation, people have moved towards the digital printing methods, which has like completely removed the use of water, or has reduced a lot of water usage.
Okay, sir.
Okay, uh, there are factories who are trying to get energy efficient. So when we say energy efficient, so I'll take example of our own company where I have worked, like Raymond. in the Raymond manufacturing setup, almost all the manufacturing setup, they have moved towards the renewable energies like solar and wind power. So basically in Bangalore, I would say all the four factories that are there in Bangalore are using complete solar power for its operations, for its warehouse, for its stores. And when I told you wind power, so when you research a bit, in Bangladesh, H&M has come up with a certain project where they are using the wind power to feed the factories at Bangladesh where they are manufacturing their products.
Okay, sir. And sir, what are the changes the industry is taking over the years to make it more sustainable?
Yeah, so I think this is the same thing which we talked about. Still, I'll have one or two examples here. Okay, because we will be able to relate if I give you the Indian examples, the Indian brand examples. Okay, so you must have heard of Fab India.
Yes, sir.
So Fab India is a Indian-based brand which has the target, or which has the vision of sustainable fashion since beginning. When it was launched with the vision that it will always manufacture, or it will always focus towards the sustainable fashion. So basically, what they do, they basically try to get the organic cotton, they try to use the natural dyes, they try to engage more handloom textiles. Like handloom textile means that people who are doing there are local artisans who are using the handloom techniques to make the fabrics or make the designs. So Fab India will source it from them rather than putting a big manufacturing plant. And so when you produce something in a big manufacturing plant, it will always have certain side effects like your energy usage, your water pollution, chemical pollution, everything. But this Fab India brand, they always try to make their supply chain very sustainable by using this traditional crafts and sourcing it from the local artisans and then making it. I'll give you one
Okay,
more
sir.
example. Like there is a women brand called Biba. So
Yes, sir.
Biba recently introduced a very eco-friendly collection, which was focused on the sustainable materials like organic cotton and recycled fabrics.
Okay,
So
sir.
that brand, if you research a bit, that brand has adopted the measures to reduce water usage and chemical inputs in the overall manufacturing processes. Like they have communicated to the consumer also that we have been doing this, and so that like they want to put their step towards the society. Like they don't want to manufacture something that is going to impact the society. The similar brand called W, that is also for women, uh, that caters to the women. So
Okay, sir.
W again emphasizes on organic cottons and eco-friendly fabrics. So in their overall manufacturing setup, they have also put one initiative they have taken, that they have tried to put more of the women workers into the overall their manufacturing setup. Okay.
Okay, sir.
One more third example I'll give you, that is the Aditya Birla fashion. So Aditya Birla Group, that is a kind of competitor to Raymond. So you must have heard of their brands like Pantaloons or Alan Solly. So
Yes, sir.
when you go to their store, they have advertised it very properly that they are going to make it a planet positive brand. So basically, first of all, if you see to all these big brands, you will never find a poly bag that they will give you whenever you buy something. They will always give you the paper bag in
Okay,
the
sir.
packaging kind of thing. So
Okay, sir.
they have also put most of the initiatives like the greenhouse to reduce the greenhouse gas emission, to reduce the water consumption. So Aditya Birla Fashion, they have also promoted the ethical labor practices, and they have like kind of eco-friendly manufacturing processes. So these are few brands who are trying to adopt sustainability in their overall processes.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. That was all.
Okay, thanks, Avilekha.
And thank you, sir.